What's up, Ohio? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Broulis Beat Report. I am your host, Nick Broulis. This is the new edition of the Broulis Beat Report, and is brought to you, as always, by Cafe 80s. If you love 80s music, you will definitely want to check out a Cafe 80s show. There's 3 ways to follow Cafe 80s. The first, you go to their actual website, thecafe80s.net, or you can go to their Facebook fan page and like it. All you do is go to facebook.com and type in the Cafe 80s and download that Bands in Town app and just type in Cafe 80s and you'll actually get email alerts letting you know when they're going to be at a venue close to you. So, I'm going to be completely honest with you to start off the show. Usually I do my review section of the show first, and then I do my preview. Well, guess what? Slick Nick over here, I kind of misplaced last week's predictions, so therefore I'm only going to be doing my predictions for the NFL's Week 12 and the final week of the regular season for college football. So, let's get started, shall we? And before I get started, I also just remembered this. I do have a new Twitter handle. You can follow me on Twitter just by simply following me. My Twitter handle is Broulis Report. That's all it is. It's not the Broulis Beat Report. It's just Broulis Report. Okay? My last name is spelled B as in boy, R-O-U-L-I-S, Report. It's as simple as that. And you can give me a like on my own personal fan page, The Broulis Beat Report, on Facebook. So you can feel free to check that out. Well, let's check out this final week of college football's regular season, rivalry week. Let me first start off by giving you the up-to-date college football playoffs in case you did not catch the college football playoff show on Tuesday night. Number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Miami. Number 3, Clemson. Number 4, Oklahoma. Number 5, Wisconsin. And number 6, Auburn. And of course, the first 4 teams are the ones that get the 4 playoff spots. And just a quick note before I get you to my predictions. Chip Kelly, the former Oregon head football coach and Philadelphia Eagles football coach, has met with both UCLA and Florida about their head coaching vacancies. So, I think he's going to take the Florida job, but that's just my personal opinion, obviously. I just think that he would be able to get better recruits being at Florida. So, there's that little quick note for you for the college football scene. So, let's get started with the college football preview predictions here on this final week of the regular season for college football. Number 7, Georgia is at Georgia Tech. I am definitely taking the Georgia Bulldogs. Then, number 1, Alabama is at number 6, Auburn. You know, I actually thought about this game for a slight minute. And then I thought, no, we're going to go with number 1, Alabama. Next up, number 5, Wisconsin is at Minnesota. Well, if you're a Buckeye fan, you definitely want Wisconsin to win. And I, for one, am definitely taking Wisconsin to win this game. Number 3, Clemson is at number 24, South Carolina. And I actually thought about this game for about a minute. And I'm going to take number 3, Clemson. Then you have number 8, Notre Dame at number 21, Stanford. I'm going to take Notre Dame, believe it or not. And then finally, the game, if you are an Ohio State or Michigan fan. Number 9, Ohio State travels to the Big House up in Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines. This game, I think, is going to be a lot closer than what some people are thinking it's going to be. But in the end, I think Ohio State's offense is going to be too much for Michigan, and I am going to, in fact, take the number 9 Ohio State Buckeyes. And that there, we already know it's going to be Wisconsin and Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. But Ohio State is going to be going into that game coming off of a win against Michigan. So I'm taking all the road teams this coming week for the rivalry week. Now, let's move on to Week 12 of the NFL season. Now, there are no teams on a bye, And here's a quick note for you, or 2 notes for you actually. Darrelle Revis, however you want to pronounce his first name, is actually signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll be honest with you, I was a little shocked at that when I first read about that. And also, Detroit has claimed Dwight Freeney off of waivers. So there's your notes for the NFL. And I should have said this before the show even started, but just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. You know, I hope everybody eats a lot of food, and it's all good food. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, regardless of where you're at, and especially for those who have served our country, or who are currently serving our country, or who will be serving our country in the not too distant future for the military. A special Thanksgiving to all of you for allowing us to do what we do over here for free, and you know, the whole freedom thing, all that stuff. Special Thanksgiving shout out to all of you in the military. Alright, so your 3 Thanksgiving Thursday games are as follows. Minnesota is at Detroit in an NFC North showdown. If the Lions can somehow pull off to win this game, they will at least put the Minnesota Vikings winning the NFC North crown on hold. I think that Minnesota is still going to win it, but Detroit really needs this, especially for wild card implications. With that being said, I am going to take the Detroit Lions to win this game at home. Minnesota is 8-2 and Detroit is 6-4. I'm going to take the Lions. Next up, it is the 4-6 Los Angeles Chargers at the 5-5 Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers. Next up, the struggling New York Football Giants are 2-8. They are at the Washington Redskins, who are 4-6. This is a battle of the NFC East. I'm going to take Washington at home. Next up is the Sunday games. The struggling Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wow, have they just been... Oh, I had them winning the NFC South this year. Anyways, they are traveling to Atlanta to take on the 6-4 Falcons. I'm actually going to take Tampa Bay to get an upset win here, believe it or not. Then, the Tennessee Titans travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Tennessee has a record of 6-4. Indianapolis is at 3-7. I'm taking the Titans. Next up, Buffalo is at Kansas City. I am actually going to take the Buffalo Bills. They put Tyrod Taylor back in the starting quarterback position. They should have never benched him in the first place. Then you have Miami is at New England. I'm definitely taking the Patriots in this one. And then Carolina is at 7-3 at the New York Jets, who are at 4-6, who are still fighting, believe it or not, for a playoff spot. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers in this matchup. Then you have the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Red Hot Eagles. Philadelphia is 9-1, and I'm definitely taking them to win this game. Then you have Seattle at San Francisco. I do remember taking the 49ers to get their first win last week, but that comes to a halt here. I'm going to take Seattle in this matchup. Denver is at Oakland in a battle of the AFC West, and wow, again, another team that's disappointed me this year. I had Oakland win in the AFC West. Well, they're third in the division. They're at 4-6. I'm going to take the Raiders in this matchup. Next up, the Red Hot New Orleans Saints are at the also record-wise Red Hot Los Angeles Rams. Still getting used to saying that. They are 7-3. New Orleans is 8-2. Something's got to give. I'm going to go with Los Angeles in this matchup. Then you have Jacksonville, fresh off a nice win over, well, not so much a nice win, but they did eventually in the fourth quarter pull out a win over the Cleveland Browns at the Arizona Cardinals, who are sitting at 4-6. I'm going to take Jacksonville to win this game and improve to 8-3. Then, the Sunday night game has the 5-5 Green Bay Packers at the 8-2 and first place AFC North Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. This game should be over probably around the second quarter once again, and Pittsburgh is going to once again improve their record. They're going to go to 9-2, trust me. I would be shocked. Then the Monday night game has the 4-6 Houston Texans at the 5-5 Baltimore Ravens, who are fighting for their playoff lives. I believe they have the second wild card currently right now. I don't know off the top of my head. Well, because they're at home and they're playing against a struggling Houston team, although they won last week, I'm going to take Baltimore at home. And then the local game has the 0-10 Cleveland Browns, who are in last place in the AFC North, at the third place in the AFC North, 4-6 Cincinnati Bengals. I think you guys already know where I'm going with this. I'm going to take the Bengals. A couple of reasons. First off, Cincinnati still has a great defense, in my opinion. It's just their offense really stinks. And I just don't think that Cleveland has what it takes to especially go on the road and get a win. Now, some of you may or may not know by now, Josh Gordon returned to practice today for the Cleveland Browns. He will be eligible to start playing next Sunday when Cleveland travels to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. So, Gordon is not eligible to play this week, but next week he will be. But even if he were to be playing this week, Cincinnati still has too good of a defense, and Cleveland just quite frankly does not play Isaiah Crowell enough, and therefore the running game never has a chance in any game unless they give it to Duke Johnson more. So with that being said, obviously I'm taking the Bengals to win this game. I think they're going to win this game handily. I don't think it's going to be close. I think at best this game might be close going into the third quarter, and then after that I think Cincinnati will take over. So with that being said, I do hope, again, that everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Hope you have a lot of great food and enjoy a lot of good time with family and friends. That does it for this edition of the Broulis Beat Report. My name is Nick Broulis, and until next time, have a good one, everybody.